Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims 4 info/thoughts video. Alright, so just to help cover myself legally before I get into any of the subject matter in this video, I just want to say this all is filed under rumor and speculation right now. It's pretty strong speculation, but nonetheless, it's not official until it is officially confirmed by EA and Maxis. I especially wanted to say this disclaimer in this video because there's actually been some pretty crazy legal drama surrounding this news that just started happening that I have never actually seen before in all my years of following video game news. But nonetheless, the cat is let out of the bag, the information's out there and on various Sims news websites already, and I really do want to talk about this because this is a really big deal. Alright, let's get right into this. So this website that lists video game ratings for Brazil listed this expansion pack for The Sims 4, which is called The Sims 4 Vida na Cidade, if that's how you even pronounce it. I apologize because that probably is really wrong, but this translates roughly to city life. Yeah, city life. There's no actual details about the content of this possible expansion pack. The only other thing is that it says that this was produced in the year 2016. So I'm gonna just give my thoughts about the idea of this expansion pack being true before I even get into the whole legal drama section of this. Okay, so this expansion pack, if it ends up being real, will probably be really good. Maybe even the best expansion pack for The Sims 4 so far. But still, what the heck are they thinking? Like, really? Ever since Get Together, or even really before that, we've been begging and screaming for more family play. And it's like, we've been getting kids' room stuff, we got nannies, and I don't know, it felt like that was all going towards, okay, there's probably going to be generations next, what the majority of us are asking for, and this comes up. Like, yeah, like I get that a lot of us do want a city world as well, but I don't know, I think a lot of us, including myself, could have waited a bit longer for that. I think what really needs to be addressed is family play, and I can't believe they still don't really seem to understand that. At least the expansion pack team doesn't, because to say that they never listen is a bit of a stretch in my opinion, especially when they announced Dine Out. They made it pretty clear that that game pack exists because we asked for it, and I highly doubt Kids Room stuff would exist either if we hadn't been begging for more family play. But I don't know what is going on with the expansion pack team. I just don't get it. Like, the only real excuse I can think of for them doing a city expansion pack next is because there does seem to be this pattern where there's some sort of city-related expansion pack within the first 3 packs of that game. Because, like, for example, with The Sims 1, you got Hot Date as expansion pack 3, and for The Sims 2, you have Nightlife as expansion pack number 2, and for The Sims 3, you have Late Night as expansion pack 3. So, yeah, you get all of these expansion packs that have a city or just an urban area as part of the theme, so it seems like they might want to stick by that tradition, I guess you could call it. Although it's kind of a weird thing to follow, and they always say, the Sim gurus always say that they don't like follow patterns and stuff, but I don't know, sometimes it really feels like they do, no matter what they say. But nonetheless, it just feels like a huge slap in the face. Like, I don't know, I still just, I'm running out of comprehensible words to say right now, but just, I don't know, it's really frustrating, really frustrating, and even if this expansion pack does end up being really great, I don't think I'll ever let this go. Even if Generations ends up being expansion pack 4, I'll still be like, why did they not do this sooner? Why wasn't this the second or third expansion pack? With that rant out of the way, we actually do have two possible ideas as to what could be in this possible City Life expansion pack. This image here from Honeywell compiles information from two different surveys that have been done in the past that both have city-themed ideas. So there's one from October 2014 that talks about city living, where you can live in a loft or an apartment in many high-rise buildings, and that your sim will be able to check out the latest bands and DJs and dance the night away in the new rooftop nightclubs. And if you feel inspired, you even have the opportunity to start your own band and make it big. So yeah, I don't think this idea is as likely to happen as the other one, just because some of that has already been done in Get Together. So then you also got this Metropolis idea almost a year later, where you can move into a bustling modern city, live in new apartments and penthouses, kind of like the previous idea, and eat at food carts and shop at street markets, and immerse your Sims in the different cultures of the city by exploring the many diverse neighborhoods. This one, in my opinion, actually sounds a lot cooler than the October 2014 idea, and out of those two, I'm really hoping that this ends up being the real deal. Because even though this idea still doesn't really sound family-oriented at all, at least it's different compared to previous city expansions, where you kind of have this spin of multiple cultures in this city. Like, you could have something like Chinatown or Little Italy, places like that, and that actually sounds really interesting. Like, I don't think that should replace a travel expansion pack at all. But yeah, that's really neat, and I do remember how disappointed I was when the street markets didn't make it into Get Together. And hopefully the apartments would be a lot more like what they were in the Sims 2 apartment life, because, I don't know, like the ones in late nights, it just, I don't know, it felt kind of half-baked. Like, I guess a big reason for that is just because they were trying to reduce the strain, because the Sims 3 had these big open worlds, but with the Sims 4, it's like that, but to a much lesser extent, since you still have kind of open worlds, but definitely not to the extent of the Sims 3. So maybe they can do apartments a lot more justice in The Sims 4 than they could in The Sims 3. But speaking for the likelihood of these survey ideas happening, it actually is quite likely. Because in the past, not just for The Sims 4, but for The Sims 3 as well, there have been these official surveys that go around that have these ideas for many possible expansion packs and stuff packs. And while not all of the ideas have come true, some of them actually have, and the ones that have become a reality, most of the ideas within those have also made it to the final product. For example, there is this season survey here that I actually do remember pretty vividly, and as you can see here, most of the content actually did make it to the Sims 3 seasons. Like, yeah, you got the diving boards, the slow dancing, the pool slide, and of course the weather, but there were some things that aren't in it, like sledding and the anthropology career. So yeah, like, there's a good chance that a good portion of these ideas will happen, but it's not guaranteed. Okay, so now I'll talk a little bit about the legal drama I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So basically, what's going on is that Sony and Warner Brothers, who are responsible for distributing EA-published games in Brazil, have requested the Brazilian rating board to hide the listing for the expansion pack. The document says that EA has until September 17th to decide a new date for making the listing public, or else the Brazilian rating board can just publish it without their permission. And I'll leave a link to an article where you can see this legal document, and it's just like, wow. wow, like I've never seen anything like this before where it's like, hey, if you don't give us a new date for when to put up a listing for this game, or if you don't announce it by this date, we're screwing you over. Just wow, like that's what I get out of that, and that's just amazing to me. I've never heard of anything happening like this before, but it really does look like if they decide, like if EA doesn't decide to like make the announcement after September 17th, if they make it later than that, then they're really under pressure to just announce the expansion pack already. Which, I mean, I think they should. That'd be the smart thing to do because, well, the information's out there. You can't really just reverse that. We already know. So, I mean, this all looks pretty legit. I think they should just announce it since the cat is out of the bag. And I think I do remember The Sims 2 Bon Voyage had a kind of similar situation. Not the whole, like, oh, like, give us a date or we'll leak the expansion pack for you, but it was just that there was, like, some sort of retailer leak or ESRB rating leak. I can't remember. It was one of those two, and then they decided to announce Bon Voyage a little bit earlier because of that happening. There's one other theory I've heard which sounds pretty believable to me, and it's that the reason that they're announcing Expansion Pack 3 so late is that they might be announcing it at Simmer's meetup, which has now been officially confirmed to be October 1st. So if EA does respond by saying, oh yeah, just push the publishing date to October 1st, then I think that's pretty much a confirmation that we're going to hear about City Life or whatever Expansion Pack 3 will be at Simmer's meetup. And from a marketing perspective, I think that is kind of cool. It's like, yay, we get to announce this big thing at a fan event. Almost like what Sega did with that big event where they announced Sonic Mania and Project 2017. But it's just like, oh, it's makes it even worse that Simmer's meetup is later this year than it was last year. So, it's just too much waiting. Can we have a little bit less waiting, please? And this is all just a prime example of why you should not wait super long to announce your games. Because I've just seen it happen so often in the past, not just with The Sims, but with video games in general, where it's just like there's this long gap where we don't hear anything about the next game, and then suddenly, a retailer leaks it, or some other, like, internal source leaks it, and then rumors go around, and it's just like, well, I mean, if you had announced your stuff earlier, maybe you could have stayed ahead of those leaks, or maybe those leaks just wouldn't have happened in the first place. Before I wrap up this video, there's actually one other leak to talk about. It has nothing to do with an expansion pack, but it has to do with code found within this week's game update. An article on Sims Community talks about how the event system has been upgraded so that they now have an experience point system. So Sims can earn experience points and trigger a triple boost week, which will increase the rate that a Sim builds job performance, boosts skills, builds friendships, gains aspiration points, or decreases the rate at which their needs decay. So that's kind of interesting in a bad way, in my opinion. It's like, this is another one of those info/thoughts videos where the general theme is disappointment. It's just like, this reminds me of the whole Project Olympus thing where The Sims 4 was going to be this online multiplayer game. And while this isn't really multiplayer, it just kind of reminds me of the whole online aspect. And it's like, why are they putting so much effort into this aspect which seems to fit more in line with the Sims free play than the actual main series. I don't understand. Like, they could be using all of this effort they're putting into this system to bring back things that more people want, like the firefighter NPC and the burglars and, I don't know, toddlers. It's just like, I don't know, it just seems like a waste of time to me. They're just spending all this time on things that make The Sims 4 look like a free-to-play game when it isn't. And I gotta say, it's funny that in the last info/thoughts video I said, oh, I'd be totally okay if those challenges never came back. And, well, it looks like the opposite is happening, which is a real bummer. And that wraps up another Sims 4 info/thoughts video. Wow, this one ended up being a lot longer than I expected it to be, but hopefully you all enjoyed it. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of the upgraded event system and the possibility of City Life being expansion pack number 3. At least this expansion pack does not seem to have Gets in the title, because if it did, like, I think that would just be cringeworthy. Like, I know, like, yeah, the first 2 expansion packs have Gets in the title, but I think that might have just been a pure coincidence more than anything. I don't think that was an intentional thing, and The Sims 4 gets enough hate as it is. I don't think we need another reason for people to hate on The Sims 4 because it has a ridiculous title scheme for the expansion packs. Just, no, I just don't want that. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.